everyone, it's Anna here. Welcome back. So this is week 3. It really is actually day 18, 19, but I did want to share with you the results. Now, before I get started, you'll have to excuse the freeze. On my hair, it has been raining non-stop for about 2 weeks here in the UK, and this freeze situation is real. We just have to work with it and live with it. That's what I'm telling myself. Anyway, so on to what you really want to hear. Week 3 results. So if you remember, I started on a Friday, and then I got weighed on the I think it was a Tuesday, and then the following week I moved my appointment to the Monday. So I haven't actually done a full 3 weeks yet. I'm on day about 18, 19, but it's an update of where I am at that point. So I'm just going to call it week 3 because it's the third time that I've been there to get weight, but really it's about 19 days. So the news are that this week I have lost 1.5 kilos. That's about 3 pounds, which puts me at a total loss in 18 days of 8.5 kilos, and that is 19 pounds, so just under 19 pounds. So I am absolutely delighted with the results. I couldn't be happier. It's not even been a full 3 weeks, it's not been a full month, and I have lost 8.5 kilos. And the beauty of this is that if I continue to lose the same amount of weight, next week I should actually hit the 10 kilo mark. That would be 22 pounds, just 2 pounds short of 2 stones. Actually, no, of a stone and a half. Still amazing news. So I am absolutely delighted with the progress. I am delighted with the process and how it's going so far. I couldn't be happier. It really has been transformational. So I wanted to share the results so far, but the other thing I wanted to share is, I guess, what I'm describing as surprising results, because what I'm finding is that yes, I'm seeing results that there are 2 types of results that I'm finding. Some are results that you see, others are results that you don't see. So from a results that you do see point of view, there are some clear, obvious things starting to happen. So I've lost a stone now, a bit over a stone. So typically you go down about a dress size with every stone or every kind of 8-9 kilos. So I have gone down a dress size. I'm starting to fit into clothes that I had not been able to wear for a while. Things that had been really tight are starting to get loose, and it means that I'm able to go into areas of my wardrobe that I hadn't been able to touch for some time, sadly. But it's fantastic news now. I'm if you see some of the other videos, and I'll add a picture in a minute, you can see when I first started, and now you can see where I am now. So definitely my face is showing. It's not quite as wide as it was. Clearly this situation still needs to go down, but it's a lot better than it was before. Also my skin is starting to clear a lot. When I started, I had loads of spots, and now I'm in a much better place. I will say that on the spot situation, because you're using up some of your stored fat reserves in your body, well, not some, your stored fat reserves, you will experience some detox system. You will experience some detox symptoms, because as you go down, and if you had any toxins stored with the fat, those toxins, as the fat is being used, they are being released, and then your body is clearing them. So you will still have some detox symptoms after. For me, they materialized in some odd, not full spots. It's almost like a blind spot. I had one on my forehead, and then it kind of came and it went away after 2 days. It wasn't a full-blown spot, it was just like a blind spot. But I have noticed a little bit of that, but it's nothing that is actually not manageable. So I think, I actually feel quite good knowing that those are toxins that are being released from my body, and that are being cleared out. So actually I don't mind that too much. And then there are other ways in which I'm seeing those results coming through. So the fact that I'm doing something for myself, The fact that I'm doing something that it's helping me take care of me means that I feel different about myself. Now, there's a little bit of a crossover in terms of the results that you don't see, but there are things that are happening inside my head that means that what I'm portraying outwardly actually is very different. So my confidence is starting to shift. It means I'm being bolder in things that I would do. I would normally hold back my tongue or hold back my thoughts and not volunteer my opinion as readily. And I'm finding that, particularly at work, that actually how I'm coming across is different, and I feel far more confident in expressing things, and I'm not second guessing myself as much, which is quite interesting, because when you notice that in yourself, it's like, actually, I think today I was far more confident than I've been for a while. It makes a significant change. So let me talk a little bit about the things that you do not see, but actually results that are fantastic and that you do need to take into account. So I think I've mentioned this before, but I am sleeping so much better. And when you sleep better, you get full rest, you wake up feeling better, you have more energy. On top of the energy that the ketosis does give you, you feel rested, you feel like you've had a good night's sleep. I typically wake up between 5 and 6, depending on work. On Monday night, out of nowhere, I woke up at 4:45, which is unheard of for me, and I was full of beans for the whole day. I just woke up, I was wide awake at 4:45. I was done, I was ready to get up, to get going with the day. It was just amazing. So for me, that was really surprising, and I didn't feel throughout the day that I had energy dips or ups and downs. It was quite steady. Now, I did make a point to drink my water and eat my food, my meals every 4 hours, which does help. But as long as you manage that, actually, you will be energetically quite stable. So that was quite surprising. The other thing that I've noticed, I have mentioned my confidence. There is an external confidence. There's also the internal confidence. I guess it's because you're taking care of yourself, and because you're doing things for you, and you start to feel better, and you start to want to take more care of yourself, you do feel different about yourself. I don't know how to explain that, and I hope that that translates to some of you, and that you can, you can relate to that. But the more you do to take care of yourself, the more you want to take care of yourself, because you put all of that effort into you, and you don't want to waste it. So you want to put more things into your life. You want to do more things that make you feel better. You want to just have a different kind of yearning to feel different. So how I put more effort into getting ready in the mornings. I put more effort into thinking about what I'm going to wear, because I actually have things that I'm starting to look forward to wearing, as opposed to wanting to avoid my wardrobe because I couldn't fit in any of it. So that just makes a massive impact. Is little things, but actually makes such a difference to how you feel, to how you think about yourself, to how you, no doubt, to how you come across to others, but also to what you want to convey, and you kind of feel very different about holding your own space. Hopefully that makes sense, but it does really help you rethink how you feel about yourself. So I think it's super positive, and those are results that you see and results that you don't see, but one way or another they're kind of coming through in different ways. It's just surprising that what you're eating, what you're putting into your body, has such a big difference in how you feel overall, how you feel about yourself, your mental health, your mental clarity, your willingness to do things with your life. So it's amazing results, and that's just in less than 3 weeks. That's how I feel, at least. So I hope if any of you are doing this, you have similar results. So I guess going from the results that you see and that you don't see, there are a couple of other things that I also wanted to share with you, because I'm starting to enter into week 3, and to all intents and purposes, the diet honeymoon period is over, because week one you start is different. You have to focus on it, you have to concentrate on it. So it's like, your primary focus of attention, and whether it's to make it past the first 3 days or how to continue through the day, and making sure that you're thinking about it so you don't put anything in your mouth unconsciously, whether it's a sweet or a snack, or somebody that passes in the office and offers you something, or at work, whatever it might be. So those are things that are happening around you, and help you to concentrate on it. Week two, you kind of know the dynamics, so you're just expanding a little bit further, but it's still quite new, and you want to know, okay, this is how well I've done in week one, how will I do in week two. By the time you come to week three, it's like, okay, I've got this. I understand. I know where I am with things. You're starting to get into a little bit of routine. It becomes a little bit more second nature. And I think this is the time to really start to think about it a bit more seriously, because what you don't want to do is allow it to become secondary, and something that you don't focus on, because it will still require planning time. It will still require your effort and focus into thinking ahead, what you need to do, what you want to look into. So there are things that I just wanted to share with you, so that you can take that going forward, as to understand that that's something that will happen, but also how to help you manage through that. So first of all, I know that it sounds obvious, but if you're in, because you'll be getting big results in week one, week two might be a bit lower, week three you're kind of stabilizing, you're getting into that space. For me, it's going to be about 1.5 kilos to 2 kilos, so between 3 and 4 pounds. You kind of take it for granted. So losing that amount of weight in 1 week is a fantastic thing. When you think about in a total month, it's probably about 6 kilos. So it's just under, it's about the 13 pounds. So it's just under the stone in 1 month. That is a fantastic result. So if nothing else, do not take it for granted. Trust the process. Trust that it will work for you. Continue to focus on it and make it your priority every day, because that's the only way that you will sustain it throughout the whole month, and not allow things to creep up that may derail you. So stick to your process, trust the process, keep to it. I think that's just really important to keep in mind, because the process delivers. If you stick to it, you will do. I know from my own experience that in other diets, when it comes to week one you do well, week two you may do okay, but you may slow down. Then you have various degrees of consistency of results, even if you've been sticking to it to the letter, to every single step or piece of food that you can eat or not eat. I found that I always stall, and I have weeks where I don't lose weight, maybe even put 100 grams back on, and I find that so disheartening. But here what I'm finding is, if you stick to it, you're guaranteed that you will get the results, and that for me is so rewarding, because I know that my efforts are not being wasted. It may be more, it may be less, but your efforts are going to be rewarded, and for me that is worth the attention that you need to put into it, and it's worth me spending the time, spending the money, focusing on the discipline of having the 4 meals. That is something that is worth doing. It also, because you've been getting the results, it makes you want to do it more and think, is there anything I could do to try to lose a bit more weight? So I find myself that I'm thinking, okay, if I've lost 1.5 kilos, 3 pounds, could I make it to 4? Could I make it, say this full 2 kilos? Could I do a bit more? Could I do something else? And I know that that's a little bit of a dangerous path, because it might push you into doing things that might make you feel worse and then spiral out of control, or lose the balance that you have. And that's important, to not try to push yourself too much. I'll give you an example. So last Saturday we were away to visit family. We had our breakfast at the normal time, about 9 o'clock. Actually, it was a bit later. It was probably 9:30 going to 10. So we didn't have lunch at midday, which is between midday and 1 o'clock, which is when we would normally do it. And instead, we went out, we went shopping. By the time we got back home, it was definitely past lunchtime. So it was closer to 4 o'clock, 4:30. Needless to say, I was famished, and because we had been running around, I hadn't drank the amount of water I needed to drink either. So I got back, I drank a pint of water straight away. I had one of my bars and, crunched through it, and I had a bit more water after. But that threw me out of balance. And it wasn't really until my last meal of the day that I was able to feel like I was back in control. So I was still hungry. It made me feel a bit tired. I just wasn't feeling like my energy was what it needed to be. But that was because I had pushed myself past the point. So I know that whilst I may be tempted to think, okay, is there something I can do to help me accelerate the weight loss to more than the rate that I'm losing at, because I know that this works, there's also a danger with trying to push yourself too much. Just stick to the program, stick to your discipline, your 4 hours, your water, keep it regular, focus on yourself, make sure that you get what you need, and it's guaranteed to work. So don't try to rush it either. Just stick to the program, it will work for you. I think that's really important to keep in mind. Other things that I think is important to do is stick to your routine and keep to it and safeguard yourself. So back to the example that I have shared, my mistake was that I allowed myself to be in the position where I didn't have a bar with me, and I was at the mercy of other people to get back home to get what I needed to do. So I had given my control away to others by not putting me in a place where I could choose or I could make what I needed happen. So I didn't bring my bar, and I also didn't, push myself for going to a shop, getting a bottle of water or anything. We just carried on shopping, going to different things, going from one shop to another, looking for specific things that we were after. And I didn't prioritize myself. And then throughout the rest of the day, I felt it. So if there was ever a reminder that you need to put you first and you need to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're worrying about your needs first, that was a clear sign for me. So definitely taking that on board, and I'm not taking it for granted. Other things that I think are important, by week 3, you're starting to be clear on what are the products that you like the most and the least. You may not have tried all of them yet. I will say try to add a bit of variety, because whilst it's so tempting to just force yourself to go for the things you like, it is still good to have options of things to change. If nothing else, just to remind yourself of how much you do like the ones that you love. So out of the range, for example, for me, I know that I love the lemon bar. I know that I love the mac and cheese meal. So I have got about 3 or 4 lemon bars this week so that I can eat them at lunchtime at work. But I also chose one that I hadn't tried, strawberry and apple yogurt bar, because it was something different. So I actually was looking forward to trying something different. I found it a bit weird and wonderful. It wasn't quite strawberry and it wasn't quite apple. I wouldn't even know how to describe the flavour. But I was actually quite glad that I tried it. Will I go back to it? Probably not immediately. But I think I may try it again in the future. My dog is wanting to contribute to this video. So that's interesting. I think the meals is also useful to keep it varied. Come here. Keep your meals varied. It's also useful to try different products. So if you're used to having a milkshake for breakfast, maybe occasionally do a bar, or maybe for the weekend choose a different type of breakfast, so maybe oatmeal or one of the smoothies. So just do things to keep it a bit different, even if you have your favorites, just so that you can continue to appreciate them, because you're going to be on this if you're doing the plan properly and you're on stage 1, you're going to do it for 12 weeks. So make sure that you give yourself the variety and the break from the meals, and you keep it interesting. And then just know that your what I'm calling the diet honeymoon period will dwindle the excitement will go, but there's no reason for you to stop focusing on it. So in the last video I shared that I actually keep a diary with what I'm eating and how I'm feeling. That helps me stay focused. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody needs to keep a diary, but do that one something that helps you force your mind to think about what you're eating and log it and track it, so that you can have that way of forcing yourself to have that moment to think about you and why this is a priority for yourself. Because otherwise daily routine will take over, other work priorities, family priorities, day-to-day different things will get in your way, and your attention will go to those. And if you're needing to lose weight, you're probably here because you're not prioritizing yourself first, and those habits are difficult to break. So make sure that you still make time to put you front and center of your priorities, if you want to stick to it and if you want to be successful with it. So hopefully this is useful. Please leave me any comments and drop by and say hello, and let me know if you're finding anything that I find things that you can relate to, or if you have any other questions or things you'd like me to address in the future. I'm always more than happy to get any input, and I look forward to hearing from you all. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.